The absolute best 10mm pistol on the market today, according to what I just made up, the FN 510 Tactical. Welcome back to OG's Danger Show.
0 North Mont, apartment 4, open 9119. Anyhow, the units are 21779 and RD 457.
Welcome back, original gangsters. OG out here with you today on a tailgate of my truck. But I wanted to show you a cool little acquisition that I just picked up. You might know that I'm a big 10mm fan, huge 10mm fan. I started with a Glock 20 years ago. I recently upgraded to a Glock 40, not replaced, but I've upgraded to a Glock 40. You might have seen my video here on the SIG X10, excellent 10mm pistol. And then of course you've also seen the video here on the M&P 10 by Smith & Wesson. Another excellent 10mm pistol that pretty much just fits a niche. Now, a while ago, I made a video on the FNX 45, a big giant 45 pistol. I fell in love with that hammer-fired pistol. So recently, in looking around, I decided I needed to get an FN pistol. But why waste my time on the 45 when FN came out with the FN 510 in 10mm? Now, FN's 10mm pistol has actually got some pretty cool features that I'd like to show you here today. But the big question is whether or not this pistol will be able to replace my beloved Glock 20 as a daily carry around bear country or out in the mountains. I love the Glock 20. I've had it longer than any other 10mm pistol in my collection. It is a great carry pistol for out and around town against two-legged predators who may be wearing big, heavy winter clothing. But I find myself out in the woods, out in the remote wilderness a lot more now. And there are big cats and big fuzzy man-eating bears out there. But it gives us another excuse to buy a gun saying that we needed to protect ourselves from bears, does it not? Actually, what I was looking for was a 10mm that can also fill the role as a concealed carry pistol. And as you know, most 10mm pistols are rather large. They're gigantic pistols. I have a Glock 40 here that, I mean, look at the nose on that thing. You could land an F-18 on the deck of that aircraft carrier right there. And then, of course, you've probably seen my review of the SIG X10. If you had not, go up here and hit that little card. But the SIG X10 is a beautiful pistol. Still a little bit big for carry. It can absolutely be done under a heavy jacket or heavy winter clothing. But I was looking for something a little more compact that would fill my CCW rolls, running around and getting the mail and going by the store and everything. But then also be able to ride with me in a chest rig or in a holster under a big giant coat as I take the side-by-side up in the mountains of Idaho and do some filming adventures out there. I'm always on the lookout for a great 10mm pistol that can kind of fill all roles, and I'd like to roll a 10mm pistol into my everyday carry to kind of replace most of my 9mm pistols up in the northern country. So I'm thinking that with a little testing, some reliability testing, and some accuracy testing, we might be able to make the FN 510 fit that role. An everyday carry pistol that can also be excellent protection against big fuzzy creatures that want to eat the OG, and that's pretty gross. Okay, we happened to find a red cabbage, followed us out here today from the store. You can't trust those damn vegetables. I'm going to throw one of these, I don't know what they are. It's an all copper Underwood round, pretty hot hollow point. Nice big open mouth there. We're going to throw it in the FN 510 Tactical and see what it'll do against that red cabbage. Nailed it. Woo, that's a mess. in the dirt where cabbage belongs. Dirt Cabbage, by the way, was the name of my acid Tejano all banjo ensemble in the late 80s. Dirt Cabbage. We opened up for Alan Jackson once. So let's go over the FN510 from front to back very quickly here, and I'll show you some of its features. You'll notice here on the front of the nozzle, it has a threaded nozzle. You can remove that thread protector and put on a silencer. If for some reason you want to silence your pistol and make it absolutely soundless. I don't know why you would try and silence 10mm pistol. It's a supersonic round and therefore is always going to leave a noise signature. Down below on the plasticky part of the gun, you're going to notice a track system where you can attach any form of lights and lasers to the pistol. You're going to see the front and rear aimers on this pistol are extra tall. That way you're going to be able to see through this little laser in case the batteries ever go out. The slider is nicely coated in a flat dark earth color and serrated in the front and the back. The handle has all kinds of checkering on it, and you'll see about 15 different patterns of checkering on the handle of this pistol. And then of course moving forward, you've got a segmented two-piece plastic bullet puller right here. There's really no need for a replacement bullet puller in this one. I found it to be very, very comfortable and easy to shoot. The backsplat on this pistol is removable and replaceable with a different size that they include in the package. And on the top of the slider, it is cut for red dots, already cut from the factory. The little plate that comes off of the standard pistol in front of the rear aimer has little bat wings on it. Looks a lot like a 1950s car. The cool thing about this pistol, and good design on FM for this, those bat wings disappear when you take that plate off and stow it in the included pouch. Therefore, you're left with just extra tall aimers to the rear and to the front, and you're able to look through your little red dot here without those little protective bat wings. They do protect your rear aimer if you don't have a red dot sight mounted to the top of your slider. The FN510 ships from the factory with two clips, a 15-round clip and a 22-round clip. It's good to have a 15-round clip in here for carrying on your chest or in concealment, but it's awesome to have 22 extra bullets standing by in that extra large Gigantor clip. That's a big old stick. It's got a big old giant piece sticking out the bottom, a little adapter sticking out the bottom there. But boy, if you needed to set that down as a nightstand gun, or again as in a chest rig, in my Kenai chest holster, that's a pretty good stack of rounds right there, and would be pretty good defense against charging bear. You've got 22 rounds. But I watched a video from Chooks Outdoors, nice little channel up there in Alaska. Chook's a big 10mm guy because he lives in Alaska. Chook did a little survey of Alaskan guides, and just about to a man, they carried the Glock 20, shorter version of this Glock 40, but they carried the Glock 20, a 10mm, because they like having the 15 rounds on board in case of a bear attack. So you put the right loadings in your pistol, you've got a lot more pills here to give the fuzzy eating monsters. We're going to give it a test out here today before we lose the sunlight. We're going to shoot against some steel challenge targets. Recently I was contacted by challenge targets and they didn't offer to send me anything, but they thanked me for mentioning challenge targets and sending some customers to them. I'm not sponsored by challenge targets. I can't say they don't know I exist because they sent me a very nice email thanking me for my support. So if you guys are interested in an excellent steel target that is man portable, I can take the steel off of the wood and the wood off of the base of these targets, throw them in the OG truck. You can throw them in the trunk of a tiny little car and take them out in the woods and reassemble them into a very nice little target system. So what I love about the challenge steel targets is their size. Not only is this target that they make quite a bit lighter than a normal target, easier to throw in the trunk and take out with you, but it's also the right size for good practice. It's the face and the vitals of a human, so I know that anytime I make a hit on this, I'm making a pretty good fight, stop, and hit. So if you need something like this for your own shooting or your own farm or ranch or trunk of your car, go over to Challenge Targets, tell them OG sent you. I use these things. I went back and counted. I've used these in over 15 of my videos. I like these Challenge Targets. You can also find the face stencils over at Big Dog Steel, completely different company, but I take these face templates and spray paint them, so I got something kind of cool to shoot at. All right, we're going to get started on some shooting out here against 3 targets, a multiple bad guy kind of drill. We're going to see how fast we can get off some follow-up shots with a 10mm, the lower recoil. I've heard this is a very controllable pistol in 10mm, and we have everything from weak loads to nice hot Underwood loads with us today. But I want to know how it's going to do as a concealed carry pistol against 2-legged predators as well. We're never going to shoot ever, ever, ever without eye protection and ear protection every single time. Let's get to it. Okay, we've got the FN 510. We've also got a 15 and a 22 round magazine loaded up, ready to go. We got 3 bad guys here at different distances and different widths. Let's give them the good news. Whew. We must not have had 22 rounds in our 22 round magazine. The FN 510 has ambi-bicurious controls for the magazine eject on both sides, as well as the slide stop, slide release. Sorry, but you only get 1 bullet puller and you only get 1 takedown lever on the left side. Nice little lanyard loop if you're kind of a geek who likes being tied up. Okay, 15 round magazine against these 3 bad guys. Not even sure how many rounds I put in this one. These are hot rounds. Didn't have 15 loaded in there, but pretty hot rounds on that one. Decent recoil, but man, that crazy checkering on the grip on this thing really helps you hang on to it. So I like it. Let's work on it for speed. And so far it's eaten just about everything. Bare loads and hollow points. I think we're good to go on reliability with different ammo. So let's take a break for a second. I'd like to thank my Patreon supporters. Without your guys' help, none of this would be possible. Just a little tiny donation, and I've got a new tier system over there where you can pick what caliber of firearm you like the best. Those Patreon donors are pretty much keeping this show alive. A lot of my videos are getting demonetized, and I very much appreciate their support. So if you'd like to join us over on Patreon, go down here to the link below this video, and you can join us every month and help support the show. It helps us get camera batteries and ammunition and other crazy things like that, so that OG doesn't go in a hole trying to film these videos. Thank you very much, Patreon supporters. And while I'm out here, I'd like to thank my boys over at CGG Firearms in Tulare, California. Now, this pistol was not from CGG Firearms. This pistol is not legal in California because of the threaded barrel on the end. It makes it an assault weapon in California. Can you believe that shit? But up here in Idaho, this is a perfectly legal firearm. However, if you are in the Central California area, anywhere up and down, it is absolutely worth the drive for you to swing by CGG Firearms, stop in, see Eddie or Omar, get yourself a really cool firearm, and pick up a tri-tip sandwich while you're in there. Excellent stop at CGG Firearms in Tulare, California. Thank you guys very much for your support over the years. I have been spoiled by the flat face, very nice trigger that is included on the SIG X10, but for the price, the FN 510 actually provides a pretty decent trigger. I'm no trigger snob, and most of us can't even shoot to the potential of our triggers. They do help, but I've not found that in a pistol, triggers are really something I'm going to get my panties in a wad about. This is a 10mm pistol. It's 7.9 inches long, 6.5 inches high. It's a fat little 1.47 inches wide. It's got a pretty healthy sight radius of 5.8 inches. It's got a 4.5 inch barrel with a 1 16 right hand twist. The pistol with an empty magazine weighs in at 28 ounces, so it's no slouch. It comes with 15 and 22 round magazines. It will ship to restrictive states with a 10 round magazine. Will not ship to California because of its threaded barrel, but they do make a non-threaded barrel if this thing ever makes the roster in California. FN advertises the trigger pull to be 5.5 to 7.7 pounds. However, on my Lyman trigger gauge, I kept getting about 4.5 pounds. It's got a very nice, smooth, crisp trigger. I really liked it. So one thing I wanted to kind of demonstrate here, 10mm shooters are really big on knowing whether or not there's full chamber support for their rounds. This FN 510 Tactical tends to have pretty damn good chamber support all the way around. I have been picking up brass out here all day long and I've not been able to find any bulged cases. Pretty good chamber support clear up to the neck there. In case you were wondering, there's a couple of different types of bullets here that I will seat into this dirty chamber, and they all seem to be getting some pretty good support clear up to the little shoulder there. So a lot of people are curious if a 10mm pistol will shoot 40 caliber, and a lot of people will tell you not to ever shoot 40 caliber in a 10mm pistol, including the manufacturers of those pistols. Well, I'm here to tell you I've shot hundreds of 40 caliber rounds through all of my 10mm pistols, probably thousands of 40 caliber rounds through my Glock 20, and on the day of this test I ran a couple hundred rounds of 40 caliber through this FN 510 Tactical with only one failure, and that was a failure to chamber the first round after a reload. As far as feeding and ejecting, they worked just fine. So if you're concerned about ammo availability during an ammo crunch or less expensive practice, just know that your 10mm pistol will most likely chamber 40 caliber ammo just fine. All right, what don't I like about this pistol? Well, there's not too many things, but if I had to change some stuff, the Delta Point Pro is mounted on the slide, directly to the slide, using that little tiny adapter plate. However, you'll probably notice that behind the Delta Point Pro and in front of the rear sight, there's a little gap, only about 1/8 of an inch, maybe even smaller, but a very small gap. The Delta Point Pro appears to be mounted solidly, but as you probably know, anytime you mount an optic to a slide, you sort of want that optic snugged in there nice and tight with no room for play forward or rearward. And this gives the impression that the red dot sight could actually slam backward and forward with the recoil of that slide. So another thing that I'm not too crazy about, this is supposed to be a tactical pistol. It's right there in the name, the FN 510 Tactical. All of the parts on this pistol are either Parkerized black or black plastic. And yet, here we have these magazines that are so shiny and reflective, you could signal the space shuttle from Earth. Big, giant, shiny, nickel-coated magazines. That does make them very impervious to wear and corrosion. Also makes them very easy to insert in the pistol. But good Lord, if this is a tactical pistol, having big, shiny stuff out in the woods, flashing around, giving away your position is probably not the coolest thing. So there you go. I hope you liked it. The review of the FN 510 Tactical. I love it. It's a great pistol. I have a feeling it's probably going to replace my Glock 20 as an everyday carry pistol in the woods. Shh, don't tell Glock. She's an angry bitch. I've kind of fallen in love with this thing, and it's far more pistol, I think, out of the box. It's a little bit higher price, but it's far more pistol out of the box than is the Glock 20. So I really like it. Hey, if you guys are not already subscribers, go ahead and hit the subscribe button down here below. I would appreciate it. Also, make sure you hit the little bell so that you'll get notified anytime I upload more crappy content to YouTube. I want to thank you guys for stopping by. Do me a favor and share this video off to a few thousand of your friends, and let's help get it pushed around at YouTube. In case you haven't noticed, it's a little bit crazy out there, and it's weird to say, but it's actually getting crazier every single day you read the news. So I encourage you guys to stay armed wherever and whenever you can. And until next video, OG out.